Just want to welcome everybody to our daily Zoom call. And as those of you that are listening to this daily Zoom call, let this be maybe just a point of clarification, or perhaps just note some of the things that we're doing so that you can kind of think in terms not just of listening to the information, but also being a person who would host a call and repurpose the information. Guys, what I'd like to do is just share with you that WBRx currently is a company that's in a high growth mode. We've been very fortunate and successful of delivering a medical grade CBD into the marketplace. Our business model centers around entrepreneurs and upwardly mobile entrepreneurs that are looking for an opportunity to get involved and grow and develop their business that, can identify with us as a company, the culture. And we've had fortunate results, not just with people with respect to our product, but also people economically looking for a way to, garner an economic added revenue stream and potentially even replace that revenue stream. We've got people on the line that have generated anywhere between $400 last month and over $10,000 in commissionable revenue. So we are positioned now to start really moving forward in the month of May, gaining significant traction as we start parlaying our business model into a time where not only will we be able to do multiple Zoom calls, but have those Zoom calls additionally duplicated within our organization and have some live events. One of the things that I will announce right now is that Dr. Nimish Patel will be here at our corporate location in Houston on Wednesday. And he's going to be providing a video on the how to use of our meter dose inhaler. Many of you know that our meter dose inhaler has definitely become an anchor product. It's become the tip of the spear. It's galvanizing a lot of interest from a lot of different people. Reasons for that, I'm going to leave to Dr. Patel's explanation in a quick audio piece here in just a minute. And please, when we play that audio piece, pay close attention to the specifics of what he communicates. He does it in an auditory form. Does it very, very succinctly and very refined. It's not a lot of elaboration, but very specific data that will help everybody if you take this information. And we can repurpose it and give it to you for purposes of using again. But with that said, he's going to provide that video. He's also going to segue. We're also going to provide an overlay, a voiceover with him demonstrating some of the things that you can do to manage the upkeep of your inhaler, because isolate in an aerosolized form can become very sticky. So one of the things that we want to make sure we offer all of our brand partners and their customers is a very clear, concise way of using that meter dose inhaler and keeping and having the upkeep such that you minimize any sort of problem that you will have. Sometimes you need a little bit of clarification on that. So we're going to also put that in a very quick, concise video. So with that said, guys, what I'm going to do real quickly here is I'm going to go to an area on my computer where I'm going to repurpose a quick video that was done not a video, I'm sorry, but a quick audio piece, okay, that was done by Dr. Patel. And I'm going to hold on here and I'm going to repurpose that so that you can listen to it. And please, when you listen to it, you may want to take a few notes so that this information can be repurposed as needed. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Yeah, so hello, everyone. Let me give you some insight on what exactly Barry's talking about. So most pharmaceutical medications, the first thing, we as clinicians are always educated on is do no harm. And most products that are out there, be it over-the-counter or prescription-based medicines, are based on bioavailability of when you take a capsule or you take something that you're going to get full absorption. And that's not truly the case, because our bodies are 80% water. And most of these capsules and, pearls and everything else we get, be it oils or edibles, are not water soluble. They're usually in a fat soluble component. That's why they always say eat a fatty meal so you get improved absorption from these products. So let's say, for example, you do take an oil and you're thinking you're getting 35 milligrams because you basically put it underneath your tongue and then you swallow. Well, it has a lot of factors on the absorption that occurs through the gastric system before it gets into the blood system. And there's only one thing out there that gives you 100% bioavailability, and that's IV. So anytime we want to repair or improve or give something to a patient, the easiest bioavailability component is stick an IV in them through a central line or peripheral and go directly to the arterial and venous system. The second most efficient way is through the alveoli. So our lungs have what's called bronchioles, which are large airway tubes, and they break down into these small air pockets. And we have millions of these small alveoli. And as we all age, we lose some of these alveoli, and that's where you lose some of that bioavailability. But of the ones we maintain, anytime you take an inhalant, it will go directly into the deep lung tissue where these alveoli and go right into the blood system because of that gas exchange that occurs. So it's a safe methodology. It's an improved methodology on getting an efficacious dose of exactly what's written on that bottle or empty container. So that's what makes it unique. The other unique component is this is a FDA approved device. So it's not the content of what's in there. It's actually the actual process of the aerosol being delivered is actually an FDA approved device. And the good thing is it's from an isolate. And if you guys remember when I've talked previously, you have isolate, you have broad spectrum, and you have full spectrum. And isolate is the purest component of a CBD you can get. And the best part of this company is they've not only broken it down into CBD, but they have CBG and CBN, which are variant components of those 110 byproducts that you find in the cannabis plant. And they treat various symptomologies based on that. CBN and CBG treat certain disease states. So that's what makes this unique, and the ability to have something on hand which will get into your blood system pretty quickly. Only one thing can get in quicker, which is an IV, and we don't have the time or duration of putting everyone IVs. Is a win-win, and giving it in an effective manner where you feel symptom relief within seconds compared to hours is an amazing thing to have on board. So yeah, I think the product will do great. I think a little education. I told these guys I'll create a video or I'll get some education component on how to actually use the inhaler properly, where you have to create a seal and get a proper inhalation is going to be very important too, as we go out as brand partners and founders on educating individuals on how to use this product.
Okay, guys, so you could, hopefully just from the quick audio that you heard, I'm going to share my screen real quick before I turn the call over to my partner, Sean. And, one of the things that we want to make sure that we offer you, and just make sure we've got several different, trainings pieces that can be used to give people more information. Here, for example, is a piece that we use with respect to the Greenway DNA. And this is just a, working example. Start here with, if I can get this into enter full screen. Okay, so here is a walkthrough of everything kind of outlined in terms of the problem, the trial and error, the solution for the Greenway DNA testing. We love to utilize the information here because it creates a lot of value in understanding, why a practicing healthcare provider would want to know the dosage. And all this information supports that, okay? Everything that you're seeing here, you listen to Dr. Jasani, Dr. Patel, and this is something that you can become familiar with. JP, one of the things that you can see, I make sure that you have this, anybody, so that you can literally go to the slides and share your screen, and you can show people and walk them through this information, okay? Everything right to what's required to place your order, get the information, and then you have the test example. Now, I'll show you real quickly here. I've got a copy on my desktop of my results, my test results. And I'm sharing this with you guys, you know, so that you can see the value of repurposing some of this information. And you can see here the repurposing of it for purposes of what's recommended for me, okay? For pain, anxiety, insomnia, on the CBD side, on the THC side, and we go through, you know, several pieces of information. It's very specific. Okay, I mean, there's more information here than most people will understand, but the fact that we have it and we can refer to it and we can go through all of these different specifics, my genetic makeup, the ratio or higher, insomnia, anxiety, pain, quick review of the science behind the report, the details of the genetic variances. I mean, it's really detailed, okay? It's far more than, frankly, most people will understand, but the reality of the test is that it can be used to certainly promote the detail that we go through to provide people with the information and the education required, okay? So there's that. Now, that's just an example of the test. And then, of course, you know, we also have, you know, a walkthrough, okay, on the MDI itself, okay? So here's a training on the MDI. And what Sean and I have been doing, if you've been paying attention, is we just take this information and we do the very best we can to understand it and then do a walkthrough of information. And before we had any doctors that came on to you know, re-verify this information, we were just using examples of this ourselves, okay? Just repurpose, just as we would any presentation. And, you know, we'd walk people through this, you know, what it meant to have the inhaler, why the inhaler worked. And this is just a repeat of much of the information that you heard Dr. Patel go through in quick fashion, and we give specific details. Also, Dr. Jasani has walked through this in, let's say, a 10-minute presentation, given very concise and directed information as to exactly how the gas exchange between the alveoli and the capillaries provides the instantaneous results, safety, efficiency, efficacy, consistent dose, aerosol performance, how it all ties together with the consistent metering, consistent device performance, dispersion, particle size, shape, density, static, chemical properties, and formulation uniformity. So all of that, and then of course we just give a, you know, that Sean gives us, you know, comparison all the time. You know, it's really stunning what you do when you talk about having, you know, a meter dose inhaler and the equivalent of what would be required in edibles. It's really amazing. And we know that the cost is about 30 cents per milligram in your bloodstream, but compared to that of, let's say, you know, $1.25 per milligram in an oral, or, you know, let's say 80% per milligram. And then of course the key is the bioavailability, the amount of cost per dose, the immediate transportation to your bloodstream, all the things we heard Dr. Jasani talk about. But here you can see, compared to a meter dose inhaler to that of gummies, it would take about 1,100 gummies, right, to have the same appropriate amount of actual CBD get into your bloodstream. Approximately, that's the comparison that's used. So you can see the example, right? The inhaler is up to about 2,000 times percentage-wise more productive. So anyway, ingredients, what we use, we tell why we don't use full spectrum, okay? Because of the potential of wax, tar, toxins, fillers, and lipids and sugars. I was answering a question with someone earlier. I think I was talking to Ruben over here at the office, had a very good prospect here. We were talking about why we don't use, some of the examples of the liquid base that other inhalers use. And it's because, undesirable terpenes that could be potentially harmful to the alveoli in the lung. Any sort of coloring and or contaminants such as heavy metals or carcinogenic byproducts are potentially carcinogenic byproducts are potentially harmful. And then how to use it. And that's, of course, our effort to make sure that everyone understands in a video form how to use it. And then the other quality ingredients, it's just a walkthrough, okay? So here's an example of information. And then, of course, we also will make available anything with respect to the, the library of information that we have. I'm going to unshare this real quick.
There you go.
Okay. It was, by the way, a red tab at the very top of my screen. So
gotcha.
I was looking at the small side of it. But anyway, guys, we showed you all this information because I think it's valuable for you to kind of assess the content of what we know has been moving the needle with new prospects on the call. At tomorrow's call, I believe we have Dr. Nick Jasani that will come on. So we can integrate with some of the calls on a weekly basis based upon the schedule, some of our doctors that will present information live, right? And that's always very valuable because now we've introduced the Q&A portion. So that continues to become more and more valuable to our existing brand partners and new brand partners that are coming on. So with that said, guys, what I'd like to do is I'm going to turn the call over to my partner, Sean Baker, who's going to walk people through the testimonial portion to try to gather and garner information to be relevant to them. And Sean, I'd like to put a word out, if you could, maybe have Dr. JP Nessick on and just kind of share some, because he's got some insight and some knowledge as to what led him into it. And I just wanted to offer that to you. I know you always go through everyone, so I don't have to instruct you, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sean. And Sean, go ahead and walk people through some of the information on the testimonial side.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, one of the things, and you know this, many of you, but I'll just throw it out there as if you've never heard it before, and then you can apply what is new or beneficial to you. But some of the things you have to realize is a lot of this business is human psychology. It is where are people at in their walk, whether that's their financial walk, whether that's their, looking for a career change, as they may call it, or, some people are just going to be sick and tired of being sick and tired, corporate, downsizing. I mean, I've got several friends in my neighborhood that are in gas and oil, and they say, God, if this ever changes back, ever bounces back, I'm changing careers. I just can't do this anymore. And that has nothing to do with the pandemic. That has everything to do with just the gas and oil industry. I mean, at one point it was as low as negative $32 a barrel. Basically, literally, they were not only giving oil away, they were paying people to take it, which is just phenomenal, or just mind-boggling. So the point to all that is just that you have to understand where people are and then try to meet them where they're at. And by leading with the product, you get to know a lot about folks. Barry and I were playing golf last week. Got paired up with two complete strangers, nice guys, both of them, a guy named Josh and a guy named Craig. And within 2 or 3 holes, the guys doing what guys do, oh, good shot. And, so what do you do? And how do you get to come out and play on Friday and what have you? And by the second or third hole, this guy, Craig, tells me that he's 37 years old. He's in gas and oil. It's a very stressful time. He just went through a divorce 2 years ago. I mean, the guy's just pouring out his heart. Nice guy, but he's pouring out his heart. And from a salesman perspective, he's literally giving me all of the ammunition I need to either engage about the product, engage about the opportunity, share my personal story, right? I mean, if somebody's willing to be that transparent and that open with me, I'm certainly happy to do my best to reciprocate that. So we swap stories about relationships and children and careers and what have you. By the 5th hole, he's like, how do I buy it? How do I get it? If it helps with anxiety, I'm all over it. But we finished the round. He gave me his phone number. None of us, 4 sales guys on the golf course, and not one of us had a business card. But nonetheless, with technology today, he sent me a text, I sent him a text, and we're shipping him out product. Now, does that mean he's going to get involved in the opportunity? I have no idea. But it's a great gateway just by listening to his story, sharing my story, and I'm going to use the video technology here, but parlaying our stories into some congruency. We had familiarity, both roughly about the same age, within 5 years or so. both fathers, both tired of corporate America, both gone through, rocky relationships, both experiencing stress and anxiety and, depression, whatever label you want to put on it. And so those are the easy gateways into having the conversation with somebody by sharing your personal testimony, whether it's opportunity, whether it's product, or whether it's both. Barry used to always say to me, lead with the product, let it lead you, start with the product, lead with the product, let it lead you to the opportunity. But Barry's never been an advocate or a teacher that if someone jumps right to the opportunity, then go where the horse takes you, so to speak. If you're trying to talk product and they say, man, I really like the product, tell me how I can make money doing this, then you got to shift gears and you got to start talking about the opportunity. You have to be prepared to engage with them about the business model, about the offering, as we talked about on the call this morning. So those are some things to keep in the back of your mind as you're sharing your testimonial with whether it's someone that's new, whether it's someone that's been a lifelong friend. You have to be a great listener, and then you have to find commonality, and you have to find, and I use this guy's term very loosely, so please, tongue in cheek here, but you have to find the chinks in their armor. You have to find their weaknesses. You have to find their whys. If they're making $1 billion a year, they're in optimal health, they've got a private trainer, blah, 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 they might not be right for the opportunity. But most of us don't make $1 billion a year. Most of us are not in optimal health. Most of us do not live stress-free and anxiety-free lives, right? So you got to share things that are relatable to your potential customer, prospect, patient, whatever the case may be. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on how to tee up and how to cultivate and craft your own testimony. I would tell you, if I were to write them down, which I could do, I haven't done, but I would probably have about 10 pages, paragraphs, not long pages. I'm just saying, like, page number 1 would be my 30-second product testimonial. Page number 2 would be my 30-second opportunity testimonial. Page number 3 might be my 2 or 3 minute product testimonial. And then I would have a way of making them my own story and having, picture a 6-shooter, if you will. Those are the bullets in your gun. Someone says something, you say, okay, I know that in my reserve up here, I need to talk to her about opportunity. I need to talk to her about product benefit, or him, whatever the case may be. So those are the things that I would just encourage you to do as you craft and cultivate your testimony and your ability to share the information. So with that, I will kick it over to Dr. JP Nesick. Dr. Nesick, I haven't had the chance to shake your hand and meet you in person yet, though I think those days are upon us. I think it'll be in the next week or 2 that we can actually, meet in person and talk a little bit. But come on and share with us what led you to this opportunity, what you were looking for, what you found. And if you don't mind, just because this is the part that excites me the most, tell me about your vision for where you think this is going to take you and your patient base.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Sean. Nice talking with you again. It's, I believe, the most interesting aspect of what I saw with Wellness Biosciences was really that it had a product that was pure and that had some FDA clearance as far as the ability for the meter dose to be FDA approved. So the application of getting the CBD, and I really jumped on the opportunity, especially as an aerosol, because as we heard earlier, the IV solution is the 100% bioavailability when it enters the bloodstream, depending, of course, on the product that you get that way. But who carries around a liter bag and injects themselves in order to get the product that quickly into their bloodstream and into the receptors? So the aerosol format with the CBD, with all the stress and anxiety that I believe almost everybody is going through right now, where we might have had 30%, 25, 30% people really admitting that they had these issues. I'm sure it's in the 90% these days with the coronavirus issues, the lockdowns, and how many of us were not able to open our companies or do our jobs for the past 2 months. So those are the reasons really what led me to Wellness Biosciences. And in the future, I hope not only to be able to show my clients, because I do a lot of aesthetics in the sense of Botox and fillers. So I have clients that come personally either to my house or I'm one of the old-fashioned house call docs. So I'll come out and I'll do that to either single clients or if they have a group of them, and have an extra something in my arsenal to offer them for their stress levels and help them. Also, as you said, a lot of people are looking for different modes of making income these days. So it's a 1-2 punch, which I think would be very beneficial for not just my clients, but also other people that I know.
Thank you, Dr. Nezik. We appreciate it, and we hope you can duplicate yourself. We would love to have more of you out there because that's, you hit it spot on. People are looking for wellness and proactive healthcare and looking better and feeling better. And then right now, particularly, healthcare providers are not immune to the financial challenges that we face economically and demographically. I mean, I've got several friends. As a matter of fact, we had a very strong prospect Barry and I had dinner with months ago at Papacito's, and he's a podiatrist, and he was launching a center. And now they don't, not only do they not know if or when the center is going to open, they don't know that they're going to be able to recover all the money that they had invested in the center right before it was supposed to open, because all of the surgeries were considered elective. And so basically not a single surgery is taking place in their brand new surgical center that's now been open for 9 weeks. All the bills, all the electricity, all the everything, and has produced not $1. And so, doctors unfortunately are not immune to the economic challenges that we face, just like corporate America and entrepreneurs and business owners alike. So thank you for sharing that, Dr. Nezik, and we're glad to have you in the fold here, and we look forward to great things from you. I'm going to kick it up to Dallas. Ryan Rennick's on the call today, and Ryan, we haven't run any official numbers yet, Barry, but I would have to say Ryan was probably our April top producer. Has brought in now a couple of PPCs in his organization, has earned over 5 figures in commission, and is doing a great job in general. And I don't think he's even gotten started yet. That's just my opinion, Ryan. That's not a dare unless you want to take it that way. But I think he's a guy that has come out of the blocks hot. But really hasn't scratched the surface, and we're excited about what you've done. But I am much more excited about what you're about to show us. So if you're able, just share with us some of the things you've had going on and what your May looks like, in May, June, July, whatever your vision is.
Yes, sir. And you're exactly right. I'm just getting started, and I'm just, first of all, I'm so thankful that you and Barry have given me this opportunity, man. And every day, it's just this past month, in the month of April. Before I came on to WBRx, outside of me owning my own CBD company and doing that kind of on the side, I was in the corporate world, kind of, sharpen my teeth and get that. But man, it was just not for me. I was raised in the direct sales world, so I knew I kind of had the pedigree to kind of come in here and hit the ground running. So ever since I've gotten the opportunity with y'all, I've really taken grasp of it and ran with it as much as I can. So last month, I went through our just kind of that list of people that we planned out when I came up there in March. And obviously, you're always going to have more failures than successes, but just make sure those successes count. So and be proud of yourself for them. So I'm very proud of myself for the success I had with y'all early on and this past month. And this upcoming month, I'm still keeping on with the people I've reached out to last month that, went kind of from hot to maybe warm now. And so I want to, get them back to hot and get them, to try the product and, really get them on board, get them on some of these calls, especially as, the times change and things kind of open up and people are able to, get to see people physically. Like I've said before, I'm a very people person, and I think the most successful version of myself is when I get to present myself in person and really, interact with the prospects or whoever it might be that I'm talking to about WBRx. But it really comes easy for me with this because obviously, and I think this is something that a lot of people can resonate with is, it's you don't want to promote a product that you're not passionate about, but with these products, I'm very passionate about them. with my background with using CBD products to treat my depression, anxiety, stress levels, pain. I had multiple concussions from football, getting hit by a drunk driver. And, you know, that led to cognitive issues and anxiety issues and depression issues. And I didn't want to take all the chemically saturated supplements that, you know, I was being prescribed. And so CBD has really made a dramatic change in my life. And this inhaler has kind of opened up a whole new world as far as being able to treat any kind of problem I'm dealing with, being able to treat it on the spot. And then, you know, also getting to help others. I always love to help others. The fact that CBD helped my dad, who struggles with leukemia, is battling leukemia for 10 plus years. And, you know, this has been what gets him through day to day. And this inhaler has just been an amazing product for him to use. And, him being a leukemia patient, he does know a lot of other people that do have cancers of different forms. And I'm so happy to be able to offer his friends and colleagues a product that is able to get them through the day. And then myself, you know, I'm 23 years old, and unfortunately, when I was at college just over a year ago, over my time in college, I had about 5 friends in my inner circle that died from, you know, trying to cover up that pain or anxiety that they were going through with taking, you know, pills like Xanax and the stuff that just they weren't prescribed, or whether it was, you know, they had to pull an all-nighter to focus and they were taking Adderall that they weren't prescribed. You know, this is an organic, holistic way for them to treat those problems. And I'm so happy that I'm able to offer that opportunity to people and help change their lives. And then if they're willing to put their front foot or their foot in front of them and kind of hit the ground running and commit to WBRx as a business, then, you know, there's obviously a huge financial side of this that can really change a person's life, like it changed mine. So I'm just excited. I'm just getting started. And this summer is 2020 summer is going to be a hot one. So I'm excited to see what's next. And I'll pass it back to you, Sean.
Awesome, Ryan. Well, great job. Can't wait to get up to Dallas and support you and meet your folks in person. And guys, Ryan sets a great example. And not that everyone has to air all their business to every person they talk to. I'm not proposing that. But what I'm saying is I had a business coach one time, and it has nothing to do with this business, but a business coach was talking about relating to people and emotional intelligence, and talked about like a verbal hug. So nothing inappropriate, but like if I was going to hug you and your arms were folded, it would be a very awkward hug. I would reach out to grab you, and your arms would be folded and you'd be closed off, and it would almost be more like a bear hug than an embrace. So for 2 people to hug physically, obviously you open your arms and you hug and you connect. Well, the metaphor parallels that verbally. If I'm yes and no answers and you don't know anything about my life, it's going to be hard to gather information about your life. If you don't know if I have children, or I'm not talking about my faith, then you're probably not going to talk about your children or your faith, just as an example. So my experience, I've just learned that the more open and appropriately transparent you are, the more open and transparent people will be with you. And so, Ryan, thank you for sharing about your own personal story, about your anxiety, about your concussions. I mean, those are things, no wonder you're being successful, because those things are real. And those are the things that people struggle with and suffer from every day. And most of us don't want to be alone. Once it's like, oh, well, you have that issue too? Well, now let me tell you about mine. As to where prior, if they don't know I'm struggling with anxiety, they're not just going to walk up and be like, hey, man, I'm so anxious. That's just not how people communicate in general. But once you peel back the layers a little bit and you start to share with them, they will ultimately share with you. So from there, I'll kick it over to Miss Cinley Fox. It looks like she's chilling on the back porch with a coconut water. But Cinley, why don't you come on? I've known you a long time. I have nothing but the most respect for you. And I look forward to you getting back out in the marketplace and doing what you do with your personality, your energy, and all the things that you're capable of. So share with us what you think May, June, July look like for you, and how excited you are to get back to the grind.
Actually, I am very excited, and I do want to thank both of you, because I think it's really important when you get, and you're fortunate whenever you get to connect with people that share your values, and being able to work in that kind of environment. You know, being able to leave corporate America, and, you know, that environment is very numbers oriented. It's very black and white. It's less about people. I think that the whole virus is actually going to change that a little bit, and change kind of the mindset. So that's a great thing. But I do feel very fortunate to be a part of this and to have that connection and the history with you guys. Also looking forward to remembering how to put my makeup back on again. I haven't worn makeup in so long. I just gave up and started going on the calls with no makeup. But anyway, for me, nothing has really changed other than, having the new products, continuing to grow the knowledge, continuing to have you guys educate us. As far as why I got involved, the product speaks for itself. The values of the company, again, match my values, and I feel very comfortable, and I feel that I can put my name behind it. So when I'm out there, I don't mind putting 100% out there, screaming from the top of the buildings that I'm a part of this organization, because I don't mind being able to share, the stories with everybody that's on this call. I mean, everybody that I've heard over the last several weeks, and just the people that you guys are continuing to get involved, just are incredible people, at least from this little short window that I see each day. So, it's exciting to be able to, again, work the opportunity with people that share your values and that represent the same things. And then when you're out there talking to people, and if they've heard about the product, you don't have to worry that, it's, how it's being pushed and how it's being represented, across the board. So I have my son on it. I took him off of all of his medications. He was on Adderall. He was at one point diagnosed with ADD, another point diagnosed with ODD, because the ADD medication that they gave him caused him to have these anger outbursts and this craziness. We went through this whole period it's hard to believe that it's been a year now, but a year ago, it was I was in a totally different place than I am today. Meeting Sean last summer and being able to, just implement this into, our daily vitamins. He takes it as part of his vitamins. In fact, when he says, "Oh, Mom, I'm out of CBD," I'm like, okay, this is a good thing, because, again, where we were a year, I don't want to go into the details of that at this point, because it's, kind of the past, but I thank God every day. I thank God that I ran into Sean. I thank God that we caught up with each other and I got to hear what he was doing. I thank God that he gave me a sample, and, and 3 days later I called him back saying, okay, talk to me again. What is this that you just gave me? So it's been amazing. And, I did have some other things that have been distracting with my magazine, and, just with everybody else, when you have the business, your business and how it's affecting, you have to kind of make sure that you're getting the water out of the boat if you have a leak in it. So I've been kind of catching up with that, but, at the same time, while I'm doing this, it hasn't been that awful, because I have my inhaler and I get to tell people about it. And then when I'm talking about it and they're like, what are you doing? Oh, well, I was working on all these things today and all this happened. And they're like, oh my gosh, that happened to you? I'm like, yeah, but I have this inhaler. It's been great. And they're, and they talk to me about what they're doing, and oh, well, let me try this. And I'm like, here, try mine. I get an alcohol wipe and I wipe my thing off and I give it to them and let them try it. And, they love it. And they're like, oh yeah, bring me one of those. And I'm like, oh, I got one in the car. So I love that I carry it on me and have it available, because usually what ends up happening is they call me afterwards thanking me. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And it makes me feel better. I don't feel like I'm trying to make a buck or sell them anything or out there schlepping anything. I'm actually helping people, truly helping people. And at the same time, I just happen to be able to build a career or an income off of it at the same time. So that's my story.
That's great, Cindy.
And by the way, I also took myself off of Wellbutrin when I had some issues and they wanted me to have a hysterectomy and have this other surgery. Anyway, had some side effects from that, and they had put me on Wellbutrin. And anyways, I had worse side effects from that. And that was around the time that I was using other alternatives. And when I ran into you and started using the CBD, night and day, just night and day for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Great job. And yeah, having known you for a number of years now. I'm glad we bumped into each other a year ago, and you know, whether it was our intention to get involved in business, which it wasn't, or whether it was just God's divine appointment, which I believe it was. I'll take whatever we can get, and I'm so grateful for you sharing the story. And I've known your kids since they were little bitty, and to know that they're well and on their way to a healthy and happy adult life makes me that's worth it all right there for me. So thank you so much for sharing that. So last but not least, it's 3:50. We'll round out with Art Martin. I know that Art and I were swapping some texts this morning with his group, and he's got some big goals for the month of May. So Art, why don't you come on, unmute your phone, and Cindy, if you don't mind, mute yours, and come on and share with us about your big month. I know you've got some great goals and some exciting stuff. And I believe personally that you are going to achieve or exceed those goals, and we're going to be here to help you. So Art, come on and share with us what you got going on.
Thanks. Sean, can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Yes, sir.
Oh, beautiful. I really appreciate what I've heard so far. And Cindy, you're a lot of fun to watch. You're very animated, and I love the hand gestures and the excitement behind it. If I'm listening to you, I'm wanting to try your inhaler. That's for sure. But you know, for me, it does start with the product. There was no doubt. I had the opportunity to meet Barry back in late February. He was kind enough to share a sample, and I began using the inhaler, and shortly thereafter, I added on the CBD gel cap, and I started noticing my overall health was greatly enhanced. And then I started attempting and experimenting with lowering my doses of two medications I've been on for 10 plus years. One is called Suboxone and the other is called clonazepam. And they're both controlled substances, and they're both very addictive. They were actually used to help me get off the hydrocodone medicines that I'd become really addicted to. And so I'd remained on them just to remain, if for lack of a better word, sober. Since I've been using the inhaler, I've been able to reduce my dosages about 75% over the last month. And when I've tried to do that before, I was unable to withstand the withdrawals from the medications I was on. Even though I was taking them as prescribed, I tried a couple of times, even cold turkey, and one time I ended up in the hospital. It was so severe. So I'm absolutely amazed, and I consider it answered prayer that, you know, I'm down to the lowest dose of both of those medications since I started, and it happened within a month. And I'm looking forward to being able to eliminate them altogether. You know, that gives me a story and a testimony when I'm talking with others about when they ask me what's going on in my life, and opens the door for sharing those benefits. And I've also refined it a little bit, because I've noticed that the mental clarity and focus, and that subtle energy that I get, I'm starting to call it, it puts me into a zone, just like you hear the great basketball players and football players talk about, that they're in the zone. And so I find my productivity is so significantly enhanced throughout the day that I feel like overall I'm just more effective and more productive. And I'm noticing now that, like a call we had last week on a wellness clinic, just by Michael and I sharing the benefits of what we've been doing, handing out some samples, demonstrating how to use it, allowing 5 other individuals to try the inhaler, and then playing the Dr. Patel video, we're noticing the eyes light up during the video. And by the end of it, you know, they're wanting to know how much it costs, how do they get it. And they have people they want us to talk to. And that's an opportunity that, I've rarely been involved in my 35 years in medical sales, where I could just share something like that and let it do the heavy lifting for me. And it creates new opportunities. And that is one of the reasons that I'm involved with WBRx. And the other ones that checks my box were the fact that it's a very young company. It's in its infancy, but it's got leaders that have been in the industry for 20 plus years, and they've had great success. And then I look around and I see the people that are joining, and I see like-minded, and I see people with some incredible backgrounds and great skills, things that I can learn from them. And, it's a recipe for success. And, I've heard the saying that, if the people you hang out with are in a way going to determine who you're going to become. So if I want to become someone very successful in my ability to communicate, grow as a leader, and create an incredible income, I'm hanging around the right people right now. So the people that are influencing me are the people I'm choosing to be with. And because they're going to grow me in ways that I need to grow. And I love the fact that so many of us have a faith that we share. And so, we just have so many things that make us like-minded and make us connected in a number of different ways, whether it be business or personal. So hopefully that gave you a long snapshot of what's going on with me. And I am looking forward to exceeding our goal as a team, and also myself individually this month in May, because all those things I was working on in April are starting to come to fruition. With that, Sean, I'm going to turn it over back to you. Thanks so much.
Before you go, Art, I haven't had a chance to share with Barry yet the numbers that you've shared with me. So if you would tell him what you your goal and what the group text that you were sharing, what
Okay.
you and your group would represent in volume. Share that with us if you don't mind.
I certainly don't mind. My goal is at least $12,000 through either 2 PPCs or combination of that and production bonuses. My son's is 10,000. Bryce's is 5 to 10,000. And I haven't heard back from Michael, only because he's out in the wilderness with his kids yet. And Tommy Gonzalez, our newest member, he's not sure how to put a number on it, but he's looking forward to what it can do in his 2 storefronts initially. So if you add it all up, you're somewhere around 40K as a team in income for
in earnings.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, Art. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing all of that. And everyone, Sin Lee, Ryan, and those of you that didn't speak, Gail, Garrett, everyone on the call, hopefully this is something. And if you didn't get called on today, believe you me, I have no qualms about calling on you in the future with no given notice, because that's what Barry used to do to me, and it made me a better person for it. So I just figured if it's good enough for him and me, it's good enough for me and you, whoever you may be. So with that, Barry, I'll kick it back over to you. It's about 1 minute till 4. Dr. Nesick, thank you for being on the call. You're a great addition to the team, and what wonderful job, everybody. So with that, Barry, I'll kick it back over to you, buddy.
Yeah, great job. Really strong, testimonial piece that came back from everybody, just the combination of backgrounds and information. I think everybody, as I hear it, they're sharpening their sword. It's a term referred to in 7 Habits of Influential People, I believe. And, there's no doubt, guys, we have a significant learning curve that's taking place as we're starting to see ground moving results with respect to our volume, in respect to the growth that we've had from a business perspective. It's all commensurate with the growth that we're seeing within our brand partners. And one thing I want to just mention now on this call is if you have not already done so, please earmark June the 12th and the 13th. Here at the Zaza Hotel, we have a scheduled event. It's called the WBRx Academy, and that academy is designated and designed for education to our existing brand partners, and also every bit as important to that to new prospects, to people that would be taking a look at the business. And guys, we just firmly believe now, as we start to march into the month of May, that event's going to take place. We've got it designed to be able to appropriate information for everybody. We have a great cocktail reception on Friday evening. Many people that are coming from out of town. I just was texting the Matthews here, whether it's Ryan Rennick, the Matthews, or their new group of PPCs that they have coming on board. It's a phenomenal time. We have fun, but it's real information rich. It's definitely not a pep rally or rah-rah. It's just information rich, just information coming from existing brand partners who had results and success, and people that had great results with the product. And we hear from our medical professionals. So please put that down on your calendar. You're not going to want to miss that time that we have here. I think it's going to springboard a lot of people's businesses. That's what the event is designed to do, to help you springboard your business. If you've been an active participant in our Zoom calls, if you've been an active participant in our meetings and our events, guys, you're going to be an active participant in that event. So just want to encourage you to do that. Earmark that now. You can go online. You can get those tickets for that event currently under the events section on the tab. And we just encourage you to do that. So with that said, guys, great meeting here today. And we look forward to tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We're going to have a lot of new information that's going to be rolled out over the course of the week with regard to our event venue over the course of the month. As we move into these summer months, we can't wait. So thank you so much for your time. God bless. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.